All right, where are we going to end up?
Depends on the choices.
Well, we got their choices and we got their profits. And for now, assume that each player knows the whole matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Coke and Pepsi can see the expected payoffs.
Well, ideally, you would want to be the person who goes high while your competitor goes low.
Okay.
So, I mean, if they both play it that way, they're going to both go high.
Okay.
I mean, you think that. So.
All right. So you're kind of thinking they've got a chance of getting the high, but if they're both thinking the same way, then they're both going to end up here.
Mm-hmm. Or if they, they don't have the budget to go high that year. I mean, ideally for.
We'll take that out. I mean, assume that they can choose.
Okay.
They're choosing. They have funds to do either one.
Well, best case scenario for both of them would be to go.
What hasn't changed though is our underlying assumption is each firm is there to maximize profits. So that has not changed. Just like it was in perfect competition, Monopoly, we don't have MR equals MC here. That's what's kind of fun. This is a different type of format, but the concept's still the same. So they're out to maximize profits.
Then maximize profits, I think they would shoot low. So if they both shoot low, that increases. I mean, both of them get the best outcome there.
Okay. So 50-50 is the best outcome for both jointly.
Yes.
Right?
Independently, you're hoping that you go high and your competitor goes low.
Right. Okay. So what you're touching on is there's a number of different things here about the strategy going on that we need to identify before we can really make a good choice. Would it change the so what would you do? Let me come back to the big question here. So you've identified correctly. I mean, this is better for them jointly.
Mm-hmm.
This is not as good as this one. This is better. One of these is better for one, but terrible for the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you do if you were the CEO of Coca-Cola?
I would go high.
You'd go high.
In both instances, I am making money, as opposed to going low, where one time I'm not going to make. There's a chance I won't make money.
Okay, good. So, now you're touching on a possible strategy there. So, in both instances, you're going to make money, right? So what you just identified was what we call a dominant strategy. So high is better regardless of what Pepsi chooses.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is where you kind of have to train your eyeballs sometimes. I know if you're first looking at these. Does this ring any bells from when you took principles before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this looks familiar, yeah. You just have to remember, if you're looking at it from Coke's perspective, look at it this way. If you're looking at Pepsi's, you look at it this way.
Yep, and that the second entry is, yep. So if Coke is going to go high, if Pepsi goes high, Coke makes 20. 20 is greater than 0. If Coke chooses high and Pepsi goes low, Coke makes 100. 100 is better than 50. And so that's what it sounded like you were picking up on, is that Coke is better off no matter what Pepsi does if they choose high.
Mm-hmm.
Even though at the end of the day, this is a preferred solution, they're at least better off no matter what the other one does. So then it's more in their control. They have a dominant strategy. What about Pepsi's strategy? If you had the Pepsi cap on, what would you then do?
The same thing.
It's the same thing. Good. So they have a dominant strategy too. Again, we have to train our eyeballs to go 20 is greater than 0, 100 is greater than 50. So yes, Pepsi has a dominant strategy. In fact, they both then have a dominant strategy, and so our equilibrium solution here is high, high. They're both choosing high.